What is cooking, family? Man, okay. So we just got some of the best news that I've heard in a while. Personal, I know some of y'all out there feel the same way. Air is getting back together. They've posted recently, kind of like, let's see. So it looks like they've basically announced that they have been working on music. The Dear FAM, Carter and David, the duo, my favorite duo in music of all time. The Fresh Air Movement, 2040. Play that shit a little bit louder. FAM Movement. Never rubbed the belly of a Buddha. I had blood stuck in my love, girl. Now it's running through ya. She left, I stayed afloat in my bed. I was tempted to go pick her up from class, but I rolled up instead. Ain't no words to describe, but the one that she had lit in my room just before she came through. She can laugh with my main crew. That's how you know she gon' stay so cool. Her body so smooth like a summer sand dune. It feels so good when everything's brand new. And she gotta say, man, this group in particular, bro, some Boston boys moved out to the West Coast, I think in LA. Really just I was growing up, going through high school, going to parties, chasing chicks, smoking weed, just kind of exploring and you know, having these adventures and experiences. All the while this group had this like surfy rap rock, just kind of like funk, like soul, like their music really spoke to me because they were talking about exactly what I was doing. They were kind of like similar age to myself in college. I think they were in a fraternity or something, like doing their thing, making music, and then one day they just stopped making music. It seemed like so random. Like when I remember listening to it, they had a couple of albums. The last album they released, I wasn't crazy about it. I forget what it was called. One of a Kind, I believe. Let's check it out real quick. There were some good songs in that. I mean, In Reflection, they had that song Island. Let me look at it just so we can really stay up. Which, I mean, so they basically fell off because of supposed creative differences. I know it's tough to be in a collaborative effort in making art and music, but they didn't really tell us they were splitting up. It kind of came out over like subtle podcasts and interviews and stuff like this. So, of course, let me just see. So, all right. What You Need EP, Water on the Moon, GOAT album, Reach, GOAT album, Air, The Name, literally self-titled album, GOAT, The Bright Side, GOAT. One of a Kind definitely is a good album too. I don't know why I wasn't feeling it. I mean that the Here Comes the Rain. Here comes the rain to wash away the thought of you. I don't know. It just seemed like a creative shift. Like they kind of shifted into a different flow and feel. Colors in the Sky, the interlude, I love that song. Island, of course, absolute banger. Position, I like that one. One of a Kind, of course, that's a great song. But this album, I'm not gonna say this is a goated album from them, and that was the last project they had put out. Basically 2015, so going on 10 plus years since they've put out music. And I'm telling you, man, this stuff was like soul music for me and still is. It still hits. The production is still up to par. Very funky, smooth, just like kind of those wavy like psychedelic guitars and like whatever they throw down. It's so amazing to me that they are back at it, chefing up music, working together. As far as we have seen, basically, they didn't come out with like, hey, we're done, which is smart. I don't think that would be well received, but from Air 2015 dropping One of a Kind, supposedly, I think Carter Reeves mentioned it like flopped. he said like, oh, the album flopped, and then we kind of went back to the drawing board, creative differences. So Carter Reeves went on his own venture. He becomes Carter Reeves. He makes like a lot of like pop, kind of just singer-songwriter, experimental type music. I think he was chasing pop hits, for a while. And he definitely has some good songs under this project. Gray Area, off the top of my head, is one I really like. Fresh Fruit was that the first song he put out? Away from Air. That's a good one. And there's some Don't Care. I like that. I mean, I've been following these guys the whole time, from whatever, sophomore in high school to 10 years out of high school. There's some good songs sprinkled in here. He was really trying to find himself. And this project, he probably was being Carter Reeves, doing his thing for, I don't know, a couple years. And then he launched a new project, Surfer Girl, which, of course, as soon as I discovered, man, I was all about it. Because it was more of focused on reggae and just kind of like what I originally appreciated about Air. Was that kind of like reggae, surfy rock, just kind of like chill, laid back, with combinations of like, singing. He's still doing his rapper thing. He cooks. I mean, he's a great rapper, very fun to listen to. He's got a good cadence and all. He's put out some great projects. Really just, I think he's really polished and shining as a musician, whether it be the instrumentals, the songwriting, just the whole vision of Surfer Girl is really professional and well done. I've seen him, I think, let's see. So I've seen him 3 times under the Surfer Girl alias. First time, he was opening for like a local reggae band. Not local, but I forget the headliner, but Surfer Girl was on the ticket. Had to go see it. I remember I pull up, and it's at this like beach lounge in Mission Beach, San Diego. Not really much going on. People sitting around chairs, having some cocktails. And as I'm walking up to the venue, I literally see Carter Reeves like setting up. And I kind of look at him, lock eyes, and he like actually approaches me and was like, "Hey man, who are you here to see?" I'm like, "I'm here to see you." We had like some form of smooth handshake, just kind of boom, locked it. And he thought my shirt was cool or something. He's like, "Dude, that shirt's fire," whatever. I'm like, "All right, dude, let's fucking go." Like, I'm stoked, That was really sick. And then I kind of just cruise to the venue, make a quick friend, grab a drink, and then there was someone else playing. Surfer Girl pops on. There's literally no one in the front row. Like, you could get as close as you want. I'll put up some videos of that show. But we were right up there, man, sipping on pina coladas. I made a friend. I went there by myself too, so it was kind of like just a lone venture. And then, The Night Persists. They crush it. They had an EP out at the time. It was just like the Surfer Girl EP, just a handful of songs. Bag of Bones, love that song. Loosen Up. Little Green Eyes, great song. Joyride. Actually, all these songs, Hero, they're all good songs. I think that's all he had out at the time. And then honestly, the night actually ended kind of rough for me. I definitely overdid it. Got just sloppy, just like on the brink of blacked out drunk. Not good, not proud of that, at all. But I was so caught in the moment. It was so sick to like meet a hero of mine, say what's up. And then he kind of finished his set. He rocked the house. For there being not a ton of people, it started filling in for whoever was headlining. And then he was like, kind of took his stuff off stage. And then at a certain point, he was just standing in the corner. And the person I had met was like, dude, let's go talk to him. And there's kind of like lines of people talking, maybe taking pictures. I can't remember. But we shared a quick word. I had actually bought a beat from Carter Reeves during COVID times. And that's another story I'm going to share for another day. But all the while, he basically was very cool, down to earth, just genuine, chill. Um, you know, just he wasn't like what you'd expect, I guess. Like I'm not talking about him in particular. I'm talking about when you think about meeting someone you look up to or have been a fan of, or like whatever degree that takes you. And I also believe don't ever go so overboard with your fandom that you forget who the hell you are. And these people, this idea of celebrity, they're no better than you. You guys are on equal playing field. You guys got to wake up, brush your teeth, take a shit. Like we are the same in some form of life. And there's nothing wrong with giving people flowers. I'm not saying that, but you meet some of these like people you fan out on and you find out they're not the best of people. This was not that case. He was dope through and through, wholesome guy, very much present to the moment. And that really fired me up. It makes me appreciate his art even more. And he has a forever fan in me. So that was fucking sick. You know, years go by, he's still developing. Surfer Girl pops out with a couple of albums. Sunrise, he got Sunset, Noon, all these like great projects that really, I mean, there's steady hitters on all of these projects. And they definitely like they grew on me. At first listen, it's hard to really love most music, I'd say, but everything he's made has grown on me. And I'm like, if I didn't get it at first, I catch on to it later. And he's been heavy in the rotation ever since. So basically the fact that he's been so in the forefront, from pivoting to from Air to Carter Reeves to Surfer Girl where he's at currently, and then now to Air saying they're getting back together, they're actively working on music, is just an insane feature. Like I'm beyond the moon excited, and just it feels good, man. It feels like finally some good news in this chaotic, very tumultuous, why did I say that? Just the hectic aspect of life. Like there's so much crazy shit happening. It's just nice to have refreshing good news. And I'm so stoked for the music. I will speak on David, where he's the other half of Air. I thought it was interesting. He kind of just like faded into like the background a little bit. And I haven't really heard his account of kind of what happened with Air. It's pretty much all been spoke through Carter Reeves. Like I said, various interviews, some podcasts here and there. And just like, things like that. Dave he was the main producer of all of Air's beats. He was kind of the hook guy. Carter would shred on the raps, the verse. Dave kind of had that cool, like, melodic, chill flow. So he went into just producing for other artists. He had his own network. He's mixing and mingling in the scenes, making beats and making connections and kind of just keeping it low key. I think he went from like being on the front stage, being in the light, to kind of just taking a step back, reassessing, getting right with himself, probably having a world of experiences. I'm sure he kept the guitar close all the while on the backs of, the split of Air. He kind of like a lot of what I saw, because I follow them on Instagram, he would post just like funny shit on his story. Like I found myself laughing to a lot of the things he would put on there. And then he has this section on Spotify that are produced / written by David Von Mering of Air. And I mean, there's some good songs in here, guys. It's probably, I'll just read them off. It's hard to see, but so he's worked with Quinn XC2, however you say, Mod Sun, Felly, Trustfall by Kaye, or however you say, Kai. Yeah, Kai, I think. That's a fucking amazing song. Time Zones by Surfaces. Public Library Commute. There was a banger from that guy. Oh, With Somebody. Yeah, I like that song a lot. So he's been networking. He's been moving and grooving, breaking all the rules with Christian French. That's a great song. He's been doing his thing, just a little more, not as much in the forefront like he was with Air. Just, I don't know what he was going through. He's been kind of quiet. Again, like lighthearted, good humor. Just kind of doing his thing. Also on his SoundCloud, from the backs of Falling Out with Air, he does have a SoundCloud with a couple songs that are just him, Stepping Stones, and then a bunch of just demo type beats, very a minute and a half. None of these are over 2 minutes, just kind of like loops. And some of these are pretty good. Like I've definitely freestyled to a bunch of these and just was curious, just played them, just was kind of like, what are the dogs doing, man? Post this of course the break, they're out here living lives. They obviously love music to some degree. I'm sure they're up to something, right? So I'm really excited to see them back together as a unit making music again. They've kind of been slowly showing them hanging out, and all the while they've never said bad things about each other. I think the competitive nature of their brotherhood is going to make them say things that could be kind of seen as negative, but it's not. It's just the competitive nature of things, like, oh, I'm better at guitar, I lay down better verse, blah blah, better hooks, I can rap, whatever. I'm sure that can come up, but they've stayed pretty true to the brotherhood as far as speaking on each other in a kind manner. There's always been that inkling of like, man, you guys should just get back together. You guys should keep making music, man. I would love to hear this song live, blah, blah, blah. And it's just so surreal that it really has happened. I've been waiting a long time. I've hoped that this would happen. It always seemed like they were cool enough that it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities. And I'm just incredibly stoked to see what these guys can pull up and do, what the music sounds like, how they move from here. Basically, Surfer Girl's got a Midnight project releasing in late August, which, let's see, when's the exact date? Oh, so 2 weeks from now, August 20th, we get another project from Surfer Girl. He's been just kind of slowly sprinkling out new tracks, kind of like singles for the album. So this is going to be a great listen, especially off the backs of this Wiz Khalifa feature. It's just insane, bro. And then to think like, okay, this project drops. Carter and David are back cooking up together. Whatever they create and whatever music comes from this is going to be phenomenal. I'm not trying to have crazy expectations. I'm just stoked that they're back creating and I get to appreciate the art. And hopefully one day go to my first Air show. Surfer Girl being a developed band that is getting a lot of fans and they've toured quite a bit. It's very great timing, I feel, for them to come back together. Surfer Girl's new album's gonna drop. I'm sure there won't be any Air projects, Air songs before this next Surfer Girl album in 2 weeks. And then when kind of the initial plan of, I don't know, the right time to not take any shine away from Surfer Girl, bring the attention back to Air, and who knows what these guys are capable of. I really think they're going to go back to their roots. Now, thinking about who they were versus who they are now, they've lived 10 plus years of life, had a great many new life experiences, which they can bring into the music. So it's broadening the horizon. They have more to talk about, more just like, I don't know what to describe, but like, I think they're going to go back to their roots as far as what Air was. and is very much in tune with what Surfer Girl has been creating. It'll be interesting to see because I think Dave was the main producer of Air, and now Carter Reeves has really proven himself to be a great producer by himself. He can play guitar, he can snap a beat together, he knows a lot of magic within the production of music. And with such a reggae influenced sound of Surfer Girl coming back together, it'll be very interesting to see and hear what their new stuff sounds like. I think they kind of planted that seed in a sense of like we will make music again. We just need to take time away. And now that they've sharpened their sword, they've lived more life. I think this is, and it's a beautiful thing for me as a fan. Like, I'm about their same age, so I think I'm going to be able to relate to every part of their journey. And I'm just so blessed that I discovered their music. Shout out to my boy Hunter. Just one night at a kickback, we're smoking up. He throws on the music, instantly loved it, and it's been a staple ever since.